put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adanna Combie, and we continue conversations this morning. We're speaking with Susan Sylvester-Baker, and she's the founder president of Trinidad and Tobago Narcissistic Awareness and Healing Foundation. And we're talking about understanding the dynamics of narcissism. Good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us this morning, of course. We're going to go head on straight on into the conversation this morning. We're talking about understanding the dynamics of narcissism. So why is it important for us to understand these dynamics?
It is important to understand the dynamics of narcissism because narcissism is one of the root causes of domestic violence. We see this plaguing our society today. In our group, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Narcissistic Awareness and Healing Foundation, it was formed because of narcissistic abuse being recognized against women. However, I did my research, I realized that it's not only men that are narcissists. So we embarked on a journey to educate not just women, but men as well. However, the issue is that more women come forward. So what we are trying to do is to get the men to come out as well. And I'm happy that you had that conversation, Mr. Benjamin, this morning, because one of the things we're going to discuss is the father's role in the home. And being the father, he's supposed to be the leader in the home. So what we are doing, we are having a men's workshop on the 2nd of March at the corner of 5th Street and 5th Avenue in Barataria. And this workshop is geared towards men only. And it is to help men to understand if they are in a relationship, a marriage, or maybe a parent, a co-worker, where psychological and mental abuse, then they need to look into it further. I have had some comments on the advertisement that I have that is really sad because sometimes men tend to be in situations and they get emasculated and they believe that, okay, they have it. They don't have to. You need to have knowledge. The knowledge is what gives you the empowerment to be able to make a difference. And you're not just making a difference for yourself. You're going to be making a difference for those same children that Mr. Benjamin spoke about, where you see in so many different dynamics of children, the experiences that they have at home. You've seen it playing out in the schools, So we need to target it from the foundation and help persons to understand the dynamics of narcissism. Narcissism is something that is formed in the formative years of a child's life. And it is created, it is a neurobiological disorder. It is flawed, and it is not just the male or it is not just the female. It is both, because it is a human thing. And when we are able to arrest this then you find we would be able to implement programs such as and I have to keep writing on Mr. Benjamin because he's really head on. I was so amazed, when we target the root cause of it from the home and help to understand the dynamics of it, then we are able to make a difference from birth, from in the womb. We have to help persons to understand that narcissism of itself, being a personality disorder, it forms because of a genetic predisposition and the environment. So if you have a genetic predisposition to become a narcissist or to display narcissistic traits, which we know can be very devastating in society, we have seen it because a lot of times you look at behaviors of children, you look at behaviors of even the young ones who don't understand what is happening to them and they resort to crime as a form of control. we see it playing out there. There are so many dynamics. So what we are doing is trying to raise the awareness to help persons to understand that life doesn't have to be like that. Knowledge is power, and we want you to access the knowledge so that you would be able to take control of your situation.
And as you say, knowledge is power. What are some of the topics that you will be covering at this workshop to bring this heightened awareness to narcissism?
All right, so we're going to be dealing mainly with what is narcissism. Because, narcissism is so misunderstood. Everybody talks about a narcissist these days. You keep hearing it all over the media. People keep using it. Once somebody has some sort of maladaptive behavior, you align it with narcissism. So we're going to be getting into it and discussing exactly what is narcissism. We're going to discuss the science behind the cycles, because it is behaviors that come along in a cycle. We're going to discuss the difference between the female and the male narcissist. We're going to look at the dynamics of the female and the male narcissist. Is it that narcissism can be cured? Because there are some persons that says it cannot be cured. There are some persons who believe it can be cured. So we're going to get into the dynamics of how we're going to treat narcissism. And another thing is that persons tend to find themselves in relationships, especially marriages or romantic relationships, hoping for change, hoping for things to work out, especially if the partner is abusive physically, right? So you have the psychological, the mental, the emotional, financial, and physical abuse can portray itself, and it comes around in a cycle. When these behaviors manifest itself, people find themselves wanting to fix the situation, because who gets married and want to get a divorce? So we want to understand, could I live with a narcissist? If I learn how to manage this, could it be managed? How can we live with a partner that is narcissistic? How do we raise children in an environment where narcissism is present?
It seems as if a lot of information will be, transmitted throughout this workshop or this event. So how do persons get in contact with you to be a part? How is the registration process? And I know it's for men only. So when and where and how is this happening?
Yes. Okay, so it is going to take place at the corner of 5th Street and 5th Avenue in Barataria. That's in Trinidad. I am going to be coming to Tobago soon, but this time is at the corner of 5th Street and 5th Avenue in Trinidad in Barataria. You can contact me at 348-6586 for registration. You get, with your registration, you get a copy of this book, which I am the author of, Narcissism Has No Face. It goes into the intricacies of all that we're going to be talking about and discussing, so that you can have this as a manual to keep, so that you can always refer to it, because we meet people on a daily basis with different types of personalities. So you want to be able to use it as a guide. My story is in there as well, how I started the organization. So you want it as a keepsake, right? The cost of the event is $450, but with the $450, you get a copy of the book, you get tea plate, and you also get lunch. Plus, you get an invaluable amount of information. So if you want to contact us, you can go to the website, www.ttnahf.org, or the better thing to do is to WhatsApp me on 348-6586.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We've been speaking with Susan Sylvester-Baker, founder president of Trinidad and Tobago Narcissistic Awareness and Healing Foundation, talking about an upcoming workshop taking place there in Trinidad, and we're inviting all men to participate as well to get the information and be equipped. This is where we end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, but we do not end our programming this morning. We head on over to Tobago Notes, and right after, it's GMT with Candice Jackson. So we invite you to stay with us. And as you stay, of course, we invite you to share the live, share the live, share the live.